Namaste, Pranam. Meditation on the Bhagavad Gita. Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Gratitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitam Ritavarshinim Bhagavatim Ashtadashadhyayinim Ambatva Manusandadami Bhagavad Gite Bhavadveshinim. O Bhagavad Gita, with which Lord Narayana himself gave enlightenment to Partha, the ancient sage Vyasa included it in the Mahabharata. O Goddess, bestower of the nectar-like knowledge of non-dualism contained in your 18 chapters. O my affectionate mother, the destroyer of rebirth, I meditate upon thee. Krishna Vandana. Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kansa Chanura Mardanam Devakim Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. O son of Vasudeva, the slayer of Kansa and Chanur, extreme delight for Mother Devaki. O Lord Krishna, the supreme teacher of the universe, I bow down before you. And Sri Krishna's answer to Arjuna. Sri Krishna is quenching the thirst of his beloved disciple and getting rid of the confusions that he has had. Which of the two is great, karma or jnana? And then Sri Krishna telling in the previous shlokas that both are complementary, they are not contradictory. Karma, one has to perform whether one likes it or not. Everyone is helpless by the gunas of this prakriti, the sattva, rajas, tamas. They are forcing every one of us to get into that action mode. And now Sri Krishna says, suppose somebody forcibly tries to abandon that karma, abstain from karma, then what happens? It is very detrimental. That's what Sri Krishna says. Sri Krishna says, karmendriyāṇi sanyamya āste manasā smaran indriyārthān vimūḍhātmā mithyāchāraḥ uchyate. It's a great word of caution Sri Krishna is giving. That karmendriyāṇi is organs of action. That is, God has given us all these organs of action. Eyes for seeing, ears for hearing, hands, legs, feet, mouth, nose. All these are organs of action. And what happens? Karmendriyāṇi, the organs of action, sanyamya, restraining the organs of action, yaha, who, āste, sits, manasā, by the mind, smaran, remembering. He has restrained the organs of action and he has set, and what he is doing? He is smaran, he is remembering indriyārthān, the sense objects. He has withdrawn the organs of action, but sitting in a meditative posture, this fellow is thinking about the sense objects. Now, for such a person, what Sri Krishna says, indriyārthān. Indriyārthān is the sense objects, like karmendriyāṇam, like the indriyārthān, vimūḍhātmā, mithyāchāraḥ sa uchyate. That putting his thoughts on the sense objects and thinking about enjoying those sense objects. Saha, that uchyate is called, what is it called? Mithyāchāraḥ. It is called hypocrisy. Saying one thing, doing another thing. The extremely opposite. So Sri Krishna says, if somebody he is making this external the behaviorally, no, I have withdrawn my senses from the sense objects. I am meditating, and then while meditating, what is happening? He's thinking of all those things. How can I enjoy them? What is the use? What is the use of saying that I have controlled my senses? I have restrained my senses. I have put them a lagam. No point. While constantly dwelling on enjoying those sense objects. So Sri Krishna says that is called as hypocrisy, and it is highly detrimental for the spiritual progress of the aspirant. So that deluded man is called hypocrite, who sits controlling the organs of action. Only externally he is showing to people, I have controlled my organs of action. If there is something, tempting in front of him, he will close his eyes. I have closed my eyes so that I cannot see it. But what is happening with the closed eyes? With the closed eyes, that person is thinking about that object. He is smelling something. And he says, no, I am withdrawing my sense from that object which is tempting me to go and smell it. What is happening? It is just that he has externally controlled what is happening internally in the mind. Thoughts are dwelling on enjoying those sense pleasures. But dwelling in his mind on the objects of senses. That is what the deluded man, the one hypocrite who is not true to the words and action. That person is deluded. That person is a hypocrite. Now, the functioning of the mind persists as long as the jivatma is bound by prakriti. Naturally, the functioning of the mind, as our sense organ, our mind also works. Although we sit idle, we sit, without performing any the so-called external work. I'm just sitting here. Now, sitting also is in fact an action. I'm doing this work of sitting. I may not be lifting anything, keeping anything there. I may not be cleaning anything. I may not be writing anything, reading anything. But I'm still active as far as that action is concerned, action of sitting. And even in such cases when I am not outwardly I am active, but still the mind, till the time this mind, the jivatma has its association with the prakriti, with this body, till the time this association is there, this indwelling is there of the jivatma in this body, the mind also remains active. The mind cannot go, actionless. And in fact, the mind can create havoc. The way it just, like a wild elephant, it will just keep on thinking so many things. And the way of the mind is to be ever assuming modifications. It always keeps on changing. There are so many, reactions within the mind. If I like something, I don't get it, I become angry. If I like something, I get it, I am very happy. And if I like it, I get it, I am very happy. The next moment, I am fed up with that thing and I become upset again. Again, I keep on thinking of something else. So thought waves continue to rise in it while the external sense objects are held under restraint. I may be closing my eyes. I may shut myself in a room without any sort of exposure to the temptations of the sense objects. But my mind is already going there. I may not be personally involved in a physical manner, in this bodily manner. I may not be involved, but the mind. Like there is a saying that the mind travels to the places where even the poet cannot travel. So that is the state of the mind. That is the nature of the mind. This conflict is harmful. It is like applying brake to the wheels of a locomotive while the throttle valve is fully open. You are fully accelerating and suddenly you put a brake. What happens? You are on full accelerator, on the full speed, and suddenly you put up a brake to the vehicle. It's going to topple. You are going to get hurt. Exactly like that. When outwardly you are restraining the sense objects, the senses, but mind traveling, it is something like that. Your mind is going at a full speed and you are putting a brake. You are going to topple down. To shut out the steam first and then to apply a brake is the proper course. First, you reduce the speed. You reduce the speed. From top gear to maybe fourth gear to third gear to second gear to first gear, and then apply brake. Apply the brake when you are at the right speed to apply the brake. Not you will never apply brake at the full speed when you are driving a car or a scooter or a locomotive. So first bring down the speed. Calm down first yourself. Calm down this body. And then once the body is calmed down, once you have properly controlled your senses, then you can put a total brake. Then nothing is going to harm you in this world. Then remain in this world like that drop of water on a lotus leaf. It is not going to make the lotus leaf wet at all. Any contrary action is disastrous to the vehicle. When man adopts this kind of wrong restraint on himself in a violent way in order to control the senses, he ruins the personality. Whatever mars man is evil. While yet in ignorance, man's pretension to the renunciation of action is sheer hypocrisy which he should not resort to. So first, Swami Chidbhavanandaji has given a wonderful example, example in this comment that first you bring down the speed of your vehicle. You bring down the enjoyment of the sense objects by your senses. Discriminate what is right, what is wrong, what is real, what is unreal. And once you have come to the right speed, then apply brake, then that is not hypocrisy. In fact, it will take you much ahead, take you much forward on this path. But till the time you are in this body, don't say, I will become actionless just like that. No. Controlled action. Controlling your attachment to the action, to the work part of it. You just manage that speed. Don't overspeed so that you don't have to put a sudden brake. Just maintain that proper speed. Enjoy your journey. And if a moment comes that you have to apply brake without any hesitation. That's it. Now, on this, again, the kind of mithyāchāraḥ, the hypocrisy that Sri Krishna has mentioned about in this particular shlok, that indriyārthān vimūḍhātmā mithyāchāraḥ uchyate. Those who outwardly they say that I have restrained the senses, but keep on thinking about the enjoyment of those sense objects. That is called as mithyāchāraḥ. And regarding that mithyāchāraḥ, the hypocrisy, Sri Ramakrishna has also given one, he tells us a story, Sri Ramakrishna. In fact, earlier also we had read the story that Sri Ramakrishna had told about the two friends. I won't read it out completely, just the gist of that story. Two friends, they went to one night. They went to a marketplace with the objective of enjoying the evening. Come on, let us go and enjoy ourselves, with that intention. As they walked by, they met with a pious gathering. They saw in a temple there was a beautiful gathering of devotees, and a learned scholar was actually telling them the stories of reading out from Holy Bhagavatam and explaining to them the Leela of Prabhu. So, as these two friends, they started listening to what that Pandit was, that holy man was telling the audience. One of them, he thought, I mean, okay, come on, let us listen to this story. Seems to be quite interesting. Let us spend time sitting here listening to that beautiful reading from Srimad Bhagavatam. The other person not so much inclined. He said, okay, you want to sit, you sit. I will go and let me see what all I can enjoy in the evening. So that fellow, he's the one who wanted to listen to the story. He sat there with all, dedication. He just sat there with the intention of listening to the story. And what happened? The other friend, he preferred some earthly bodily enjoyment and went to a place of ill fame. He walked away to a house of ill fame. He thought, okay, let me have the great joy of enjoying some beauty. After a while, a thought came to first man who was sitting there in that pious gathering. Oh my God, my friend is there, he has gone, and he must be enjoying to a great extent. And just as the thought came to his mind, the thought grasped him. The thought grasped him like a ghost, and all his attention from that holy reading from the Bhagavatam, it was just lost. In his mind, he was thinking about his friend who is going, don't know what way he's enjoying his time in the evening. And this friend, who with all the intention of having that earthly pleasure, that sensual pleasure, going to that house of ill fame, he goes and sits there, and suddenly a thought comes to his mind. Oh my God, what a fool I am. My friend there, he is listening to such a wonderful discourse of Bhagavata. He is listening to such a wonderful life story of the Lord Krishna. And look at me. I'm such unfortunate. I'm such a fallen man. I'm thinking of coming here and enjoying these bodily pleasures. Shame upon me. And he was so much repentant. And then what happened? Somehow, uh, at the time, the second man, on the other hand, was repenting on the base choice he had made and was imagining the divine bliss that his friend was enjoying there, listening to the reading of the Bhagavata with all the devotees. Now, the first man was sitting in the house of God, listening to the wonderful words. But what was the use? His mind was all on with his friend who was supposed to enjoy all those bodily pleasures. Sin and virtue, though physically placed, the sin and virtue accrue ever from the frame of mind. So here is one person who wants to listen to Bhagavata, but he has gone there. And here this fellow who has come with the intention of enjoying the sense pleasures, he's so repentant and thinking about his friend who is enjoying the bliss of hearing, listening to those glories of the Lord. See the difference between the two people. Now, the other one, he has got into that state of mithyāchāraḥ. What is the use of sitting there in the holy gathering, listening to the words? Nothing is going inside. There is no influence of the listening to listening to the glory of the Lord. There is no impact. And here, this second friend, he's just missing out on listening to those glories. His mind is on the Lord all the time. He's no more into that enjoyment of flesh. He's no more into enjoyment of that sense objects. No. He is just craving to listen to the glories of the Lord. And this is what happens. This is what Sri Krishna is cautioning. That just simply by controlling the senses and thinking about all the sense objects, it won't work. One has to do it categorically. There is no shortcut to it. There is no hypocritic way of getting into it. There's just no chance. You outwardly you talk of Lord, and inwardly you do all those dastardly acts of enjoying the sense objects. It is nothing but hypocrisy, and that is going to make the great downfall. That is what Sri Krishna is cautioning Arjuna and to all of us and to all the generations to come. All the generations who came earlier to our generation and for all the generations to come, Sri Krishna is cautioning. Don't do this. Don't get into this trap of hypocrisy. So that was the sixth shloka of the Karma Yoga. Now, tomorrow we will see. Then, what is the answer that Krishna is giving? How to go about it? What should an aspirant do? So that Sri Krishna is going to tell us in the seventh shloka that we will read it out tomorrow. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Sri Krishna Arpanamastu. Jai Sri Ramakrishna. Jai Thakur. Jai Ma. Jai Swami.